After a 3-year legal battle against the University of Wisconsin-Madison, PETA has obtained records and dozens of never-before-seen photographs of a cat named Double Trouble, who was used in cruel experiments. All of the photographs you're about to see were taken of Double Trouble by the experimenters themselves. As part of a taxpayer-funded project, Double Trouble had steel coils implanted into her eyes, and a steel post was screwed into her skull. Experimenters used this metal post, as well as a blue nylon bag, to keep Double Trouble immobilized while she was forced to listen to sounds coming from different directions. She was also deprived of food for several days before these sessions to coerce her to cooperate in exchange for a morsel of food fed to her through the metal device in front of her mouth. Later, experimenters intentionally deafened Double Trouble by applying a toxic chemical to her inner ear. Then holes were drilled into her skull so that experimenters could implant these electrical devices on both sides of her head. Wires connected to electrodes in her brain protruded from the grotesque contraption on Double Trouble's head. Double Trouble's records show that her experimenters allowed the mask delivering anesthesia to Double Trouble to fall off, and she started to wake up as experimenters were cutting into her head and skull. After these procedures, Double Trouble's face was left partially paralyzed, and her health rapidly deteriorated. More than 3 months after her last surgery, her records described the head wound as still open, moist, and bloody. It soon became infected, and UW staff noted that she appeared depressed. UW experimenters admitted there was a, quote, problem with the experiment. Ultimately, it was deemed a complete failure. Because experimenters no longer had a use for her, Double Trouble was killed, her head was cut off, and experimenters examined her brain. Experimenters excused abusing 30 cats every year in this cruel experiment by stating that it would help them, quote, keep up a productive publication record that ensures constant funding, end quote. To date, no papers have been published in any medical journals as a result of the suffering Double Trouble endured. Help us make sure that not even one more cat meets this cruel fate at the University of Wisconsin. Please visit PETA.org/Double-Trouble and tell the funders for this project to stop funding this cruel experiment.